Welcome aboard! In this brief video, we will discuss the importance of saving your money and its benefits. But before we can go into depth with the topic, we must first ask the question, what does it mean to save? Well, to put it simply, saved money can be defined as a portion of income that is not to be spent on current expenditures, but instead set aside for future use. It is important to note that this means the money you save should be categorized completely separate from your day-to-day budget. For example, you should not be saving up money in order to buy yourself groceries or to keep the lights on in your home. No, those are expenses that should have already been accounted for separately. In order to save, we must take out a certain amount of money from our source of income and put it in a place where we will not touch it for a set amount of time. While one could, in theory, store their money in a jar at home, this approach exposes them to potential risks. For example, let's take a look at how Mr. Eugene Krabs handles his money.
Surprise! Fire bucket! What? You? Oh, you? What in the blue-eyed scallop are you doing in me bedroom?
We noticed how miserable you were on your lumpy old mattress.
So I suggested we get you a new one.
I thought it was your idea.
So, where's me old mattress then?
Don't worry, Mr. Krabs. I took care of that personally, too. I had it hauled away to the dump.
All my money was in that mattress!
What? Haven't you ever heard of a bank?
No!
As you can probably tell, Mr. Krabs is not very fond of his money being lost, and who could blame him? All of his money is now gone, and he is left with no way to support himself. This brings us to our first reason why saving is so important. Unexpected events. In life, you have to expect the unexpected and be prepared for the worst, because in the event that something does go wrong, you need to be able to access funds. Unable to maintain his business, Mr. Krabs' restaurant is repossessed, leaving him stripped of his primary source of income. Because he did not have money, he could no longer make money. Another instance of Mr. Krabs' financial unpreparedness led to perhaps his darkest moment, where he was hospitalized and taken off life support due to his inability to afford insurance. Fortunately, he did survive, though we won't get into the details. Both of these situations had the potential to devastate the rest of Mr. Krabs' life, all because he hadn't saved enough to cover unexpected events like these. While we are here, might I mention that it is never too late to start saving. Having learned from his mistakes, Mr. Krabs made the smart choice to deposit his money in a bank where it would earn interest, something it never did while stashed in his mattress. Not only do you earn interest on your money in a bank, but more importantly, your funds are kept secure. This is what we refer to as financial security. By keeping your money in a safe place, you ensure that you will have it when you need it most. But how do we know when we will need it most? We've already discussed the importance of having money set aside for unexpected events like emergencies. But what about planning for the expected ones? There isn't a one-size-fits-all answer. As expected, financial needs vary based on individual wants and necessities. However, we'll explore some common examples to give you an idea of how different situations might influence financial planning. For starters, let's review some expected reasons of why you would want to save money. You might want to consider saving up for a vacation to get out of the office for once. Or perhaps you're focused on making sure you give yourself enough wealth to live out an easy life during retirement. These are, of course, wants, but expected needs are typically assigned by the individual goals of a person. These goals can take anywhere from a few months to a year, or even up to 10 years. And this is why we categorize them into short and long-term needs. Well, let's go over two examples of short-term goals. The average person in life will typically purchase their own automotive vehicle, which will of course require money on hand, which is why saving money for a down payment is important. Another example would be forms of entertainment, such as streaming services like Paramount Plus. I am able to watch all of the SpongeBob SquarePants I want, simply because I set aside money to afford $8 a month of this top-tier media. But hey, that's just me. Now, let's take a look into some examples of long-term needs. Since owning a home is more expensive than a car, it becomes a long-term necessity. Much like purchasing a car, you will be required to have a certain amount of money ready if you would like to make a down payment on a home. Another example is what a lot of people might think of, and that is building up your wealth. That's why saving is important. If you start saving now, you'll have the money to achieve your goals in the future. Many people dream of owning a specific car or finally getting that expensive item they desire. Before we wrap this up, let's revisit how Mr. Krabs has turned himself around. Thanks to his savings, Mr. Krabs was able to gather enough money to open the Krusty Krab 2. While we won't delve into his questionable business tactics, we can still take his advice on the importance of saving.
在我把钱放进床垫并失去钱之前，我很伤心。我存了足够的钱去买第二家餐厅，那是很多钱啊。
Well, it looks like Mr. Krabs saved up enough money to travel to China. However, if we translate what he has said, it reads, "Before I put me money in me mattress, and lost me money, and I was sad. I saved up enough money to buy me a second restaurant. That's a lot of money, eh?" Well, you heard it from the man himself. Be like Eugene here and handle your money responsibly by taking the time to think about whether you should buy yourself that soda or if you should deposit it into your savings account. We hope you were able to learn a little something from this video. And like Mr. Krabs always says,
The money is always right.